into the action here, Squid. We've got the pistol round of the second map coming your way. Winstrike, CT side. They were absolutely dominant on the T side of Mirage. Wisla need to repeat that performance. T side of Train. No easy task, much harder. They've got a Molotov, a smoke, two in fact, and a flash. Of course, the P250 on Jedker, something we didn't see in the previous pistol. Now we're going to see if it can bear any fruit as they head towards the B-bomb site where 3 members of Winstrike are positioned perfectly to receive this hit.
One silver lining, Wisla better on the T side of most of the maps in the entire pool. Not connecting any Glock shots thus far, only damage onto Forrester. He finds even more. As a response, connect to control, and a USPS now picked up for Hades. This looks far more convincing. Bomb away, Forrester to play. A headshot of his own, but low on HP on a pair of players, locked out of the curly letter. Yes, they've got the flank in action, but Jedka's going to hear it. Those audio cues blatant. Forrester pretty much forced back in this one. Needs an ace. He's got 4 HP and 3 players to find. Not going to happen, Pronogo.
Absolutely not. No. Forrester forced back. He's going to be headed towards Ivy now. Might see Wisla get cheeky and try to hunt him. All he's got is armor and, of course, the ever-loving decoy. Krakow yet another shot. Pad his stats even more. Feed him. Feed him, Wisla. They'll feed him some bullets instead. And, of course, the pistol round going the way of the Poles. A much-needed change of pace when you consider Mirage and how poorly that went for them. So, we'll need to see them live up to their reputation of having those disproportionately good T sides as we come into the second round of the first half here. Remember, this is Wisla's pick, but Winstrike are no slouches on it. In fact, if you showed me this veto, I might have considered that Winstrike picked this particular map. I am, of course, wrong in that assumption. It's Wisla, who now look to be extending their lead here. Just a scout, a couple of upgraded pistols, and a measly amount of utility for the defenders on Winstrike. Meanwhile, Wisla, they've got the MAC-10, yes, they've got the Galil, but 3 AKs are the meat and potatoes of this particular salad of the second round. It looks like it might be an Ivy take with a bomb down still towards T-spawn.
Cheeky angle, only a tag. Hades 73 and can still maintain the angle knowing he's got an AK-47. A pair of them, in fact, staring down to Ivy to wait for the scout to peek in. Alien unable to get anything done. He has got the support of that Desert Eagle from the side. Nickelback. He wants to stop the record. Minute left. I actually hear that tick of damage taken. Lackey actually lingering around, and there's a nade as well to join him. Heavy damage, 18 HP. Bardolph will love that one. 50 seconds remaining. It's Nickelback just sat behind this smoke. I think he's more of a fan of the double nades.
You have to wonder where those nades are going to be going to next. Winstrike ceding ground in the Ivy area. Only Forrester to hold with his deagle. We know he's impressive, but is he impressive enough to take down 3? That's where Wisla are pressuring.
Well, he should be expecting them pushing through this smoke. Angle taken, but doesn't fire off any shots. Instead maintains the back line. 2 kills. That comes from the Desert Eagles. Nickelback in aggressive position, and Hades barely any HP to work with only 19. He is locked out of the action. Bomb a million miles away, and 10 seconds to tick. Needs to cling on to the AK. An impossible task knowing that the Desert Eagle is watching down his angle. He needs to flail down Ivy instead. AKs can now be retrieved.
Winstrike should absolutely be pulling these AKs into the next. What a startling way to get an answer back. Oh, when you do not convert off of that pistol round win, your economy goes so far down in the gutter, especially when your only surviving player has to save, gets no money going into the next, and there's no bomb plant. This is absolutely not what we wanted to see coming out from Wisla in the second round, and I just hope it doesn't shatter their confidence that they built up over that pistol W. It's now going to be just Hades with the AK and 4 deagles on the side of Wisla, so they're going to duke it out as if it were yet another pistol. Hopefully they find some more success, because otherwise Winstrike will be off to yet another startling start here.
They have to rely on the single rifle to get the job done. It's already doing damage. We talked about that earlier. Hades, such a star. Usually AWP. This time they put him on any rifle, he'll get the job done. Previously, that would have been Goofy in previous rosters. Not in this one. He's the newbie here today. Lackey checks the corner. Flashbang, perfect. And look at that discipline. 1-1. And Winstrike, well, they've brought it back once again. All pressure on Hades.
Oh, he's got to be so on point in this round if he wants to salvage this. Beautiful flash into pop, and now Sparrow Positioned in Ivy, but Nickelback's trained on the angle. The man advantage for the CTs, and 3 out of 4 of them are towards A. Wisla have it all to do here, but no weapons and no nades to do it with.
And no chance unless this AK-47 can do something. Hades pressuring in. Yes, the Desert Eagles are here. Lovely angle. Can't connect the headshot. Hades, he's aware that there are players in from behind. That's one of the rifles dropping, but he falls with the bomb. Out in the open along by Etric box. And Lackey's got the angle perfectly poised. Goofy, Sparrow, only pistols. They've got to connect with the headshots. And with that double man configuration, this has been totally locked down. Another AK-47 salvaged. And Sparrow being locked out of the action. Lackey instead going for the ace.
Lackey's ace, man. It's his world and we're all playing in it. Oh, you love to see that too. I mean, at that point, when Wisla are down to just one man with 10 seconds or something like that on the clock, that one man needs to die. He has to go down. So he feeds Lackey the 5th, and Winstrike are able to take it up. An incredible play, honestly, but set up so perfectly by the utility usage. We talked about Wisla being the tactical team and the one that have that sort of predilection for using the utility to crack open these sites in the T side, which is why they have so many T side successes. But it's not a success story this time around. Winstrike, they're able to make it happen on the CT side of all things, and now their utility setting themselves up well in this anti-eco.
And Crad wants even more. He can jump down. MP9, so much money for each frag. There's 1,200 in the pocket already. Org should be able to clean away the rest. There's Eagle. The only real saving grace there. Can't even connect a headshot. Goofy wants to go for it instead. Damage needed is fine. Lovely shot at long range. Crad to drop, but that's only one weapon eliminated. And remember, that was the MP9. He can afford to hunt here. He can also afford to die. Lackey angle. It's the double set piece configuration. Winstrike just playing these angles perfectly. Pronogo, you see they're not going to take any of these by their lonesome. And when they do, it is with an SMG, which they don't mind dropping.
The problem with Wisla on these half buys or these eco rounds in general is that they aren't as successful as Winstrike can be, as we've seen them be just in Mirage alone. So if that trend continues, then pretty much every single minor investment when the economy gets broken on the T side is going to be a gimme for the Russians. And Winstrike, they're going to take those every single day of the week. That's exactly what they've got here. Hades, the sole outlier, breaking the Krieg out in round number 5. He's going to have to make that crack off alongside the 4 AKs of his brethren if he wants to find a way back into this map. 3-1 in favor of Winstrike, and they've got the favorable angle with Elian on the off.
Wow. That's a gimme. Love it. It's got a Krakow for Krakow, as you would say.
There you go. Unfortunately, Elian not able to answer back. Falls immediately to the double swing. Discipline coming out from the Polish squad. Of course, that's what we need to see. And now, with the man advantage, where do the T's go? They're pressuring Ivy, they're pressuring Pop. And of course, with the kill found on the B site, they're going to be pressuring Forrester as well. Just called in the backup of Lackey to rotate, and Crad getting aggressive down Ivy. This could be big.
Oh, he spots the wrong angle, but able to convert in time. Looked to catch Goofy sleeping. Didn't know that that push was coming through. But how can you expect it? There's 40 seconds on the clock. You'd usually expect a more passive setup. Winstrike say no. It's back to the B-bomb site, back to basics where the flashbangs will have to come through from the top. Yes, it's a 2-2 setup, and Winstrike, they're poised to try and take this one down. They know where Lackey's playing from, but he's hitting all of the headshots. Bomb dropped, Hades to salvage it, and now he knows where Nickelback is playing from. Out in the open, needs to get the C4 down and away. Nade over the top should connect. It's only for negligible damage, but puts the Org within one tap range. Hades, he's got the Krieg, unoften seen in 2021. Needs one headshot, instead it's the spray down.
Oh, that spray pattern is so difficult to master. I speak from experience, man. And Hades, he makes it look easy despite missing that first shot. Of course, when the AUG spray goes wide as well, makes your job a bit easier. Wisla, that was such a messy mid-round, the broken round scenario that we like to see sometimes in Counter-Strike. And, well, the Poles ended up coming away with it. So they are within one round of answering back and tying us up here in the second map. And they need this, remember. This is their map pick. Hades finds the opening one onto Crad. Very, very useful coming out from that AWP. We saw him be very quiet going into the previous map, and he's going to already change that narrative coming into this one. Elian has the sniper once again himself on Winstrike's side. He's going to need to crack off some shots himself. Oh, but Lackey's so aggressive again.
It's the second time that he's guessed the angle wrong, but still converted the kill. You'd expect to do so a very slim portion of the time. And Hades completely caught off guard as well. Winstrike, this aggression completely catching the poles off guard. Goofy prevented control by the smoke grenade. Instead, Jedka actually forces Lackey into the open. That's with the support of Goofy's Molotov. We talked about that coordination earlier, Pronogo, and will it be effective? Certainly seems to be. 3-3, almost taking as many rounds as they did in the entirety of Mirage. That's not confirmed, remember. A 1 versus 2 to try and pull it through. And again, down to the newbie, Goofy. 45 seconds, smoke placed. Wants to take this one aggressively out in the open. The AWP will not contest it. And Nickelback fast to the rotate prevented by the Molotov. He needs to slow this down. No smoke to prevent it. And that bomb can go away. Lovely angle. Nickelback changes it up. No audio cues given away, so Goofy doesn't exactly know where he's playing from. He could be anywhere. A site, notoriously hard to retake. There are so many angles to check. And Goofy also has a smoke grenade. I don't know if that would be impactful in this effort. Nickelback, flash, nade, no kit. That's the problem. Along with the time ticking, I think he might even just decide to save the AWP. Not finding anybody. Goofy, 100 health. Remember that nade's not going to be impactful as he has to fall back with the sniper.
Yeah, this is the smart play coming out from the IGL of Winstrike. Save that sniper. Bring it into the next. You know Elian's money on that rifle, so he absolutely needs it. And crucially, Goofy, he wasn't quick enough on the draw there to go get that op, recover it from Hades. And, well, that means that Wisla, despite winning the round, are not going to have the better buy necessarily if this keeps on going. Of course they will in this round. They've got plenty of rifles, and the money's not there for the defenders. They're going to keep it just Elian on that sniper. Everybody else, a couple upgraded pistols. Very limited utility. This should be another W for Wisla, but well, we've seen Winstrike do so well on some of these broken buys. Right now, they're stacking heavily towards A. Not necessarily where the bomb is going. Still hasn't committed either way. But Forrester, been a little quiet in this map. A legendary performance the previous T-side. We'll have to see what he wants to do. He's going to be the recipient of quite a few members, it looks like.
Remember, he started 11-1 on Mirage. It was down to those clutches, those opening picks. Needs a couple here with the Deadly Desert Eagle. He's got a powerful angle, but with Wisla, all 4 players towards this side of the map. Sparrow, the only player lingering elsewhere. Should be an easy frag to find. Remember, the AWP, it's at the other side of the world right now. Sparrow does go down, but that's only one AK-47 granted. Might just be an economical buffer unless the pistols can do something. Blackie 1. Nickelback perhaps not done. That nade is lovely. Right over the top. It's a touchdown.
You love to see those. Jedker practicing out for his baseball tryouts later on. Manages to score that one. Now it's all on to the saved rifles, of course. Winstrike. They're going to take these into the next. Their money is not nearly as good as it was on Mirage T side, of course, where they had 10K on many players. So they're going to be a little bit more conservative. Wisla will take the lead the first time they've done so in this series, remember. Let's hope it's not the only one either, because they're going to need to make this one happen. They upgrade the Galil into the AK. And one of the things I'm noticing out of Winstrike is, especially on those full gun rounds so far, you generally see them almost try to play Train as if it weren't Train. You know, you think about why Train is so CT-sided. It's because there's so many layers to the map that you can fall back to and so many different angles that you've got to take. And that's why when the bomb plant goes down, especially if there's a man advantage for Ts, that inverts and it becomes much harder to retake, for example, the A site, as you mentioned earlier, Squid. So we're not really seeing Winstrike use the conditional, the default choke points. They're more so going more aggressive, pushing in like Lackey has done to great success so far. And that's why it's catching Wisla off guard. But Wisla crucially able to punish after the fact, because then they know, they do the numbers game, they know where the players are likely going to be. So we get into round number 8. We've got a full proper investment here. And the Lackey, he goes down, but he only had the MP9. Not necessarily the biggest deal in the world, but Hades so close to banging in through. That is going to be a man advantage for the T side, and so far Wisla have converted most of these.
There's no open door to bring this one back. It has to be off Elian's AWP, remember. So impactful on Train, we haven't seen it yet. Previous round, couldn't get a look in. Had to save that sniper. Instead, Nickelback watching both ways. Remember, he doesn't have to watch towards main. He's got the support of Crad holding inside those angles. Instead, Popdog, Ivy, they became the main points of contention. 55 seconds in Wisla, even though they're a man up Panogo, they've slowed this one right down. They look comfortable on train. Smoke's placed. And Winstrike, they want to send the orb incredibly aggressive. As you said, not playing those advantages. Instead, Forrester looking inside the pop dog. Molotov'd out. Has to backtrack. And surely there would come the nades if the HEs were in hand. They heard all of those Sankyus. Instead, it's just a complete firing range. Quick kill. Forrester gone. A 3 versus 5. And they decide to push the smokes. There's only 25 seconds. But the clock being the main issue. Peek's not needed, but the timing perfect. Only Hades AWP. And he gets caught in translation.
Oh, Winstrike, that was such a dirty take from Krad specifically to get 4 frags. Come on, man. Wisla looked like it was their round. It should have been theirs, dead to rights. But Krad coming in with the utility usage from his teammates, able to pop off plenty in T-main, slow the hit right down, and then he picks the right time to peek onto E-Box, killing the penultimate player on the T side. It's just over at that point, man. What can you do with just a single AWP and a 1-on-3 position at that point? Wisla, they learn it's not much.
It's the smoke grenades, the utility usage, as you said, perfect, flawless. Winstrike, that's why they've always got a chance. They've lost the opening pick in what seems to be every single round. I don't have the statistics, but it might be absolutely that. Forrester up close, takes a lot of damage in that engagement. Surprised that the MP9 doesn't at least try and fire through. Quick damage, Ponchette with 2. Looking for another ace. Remember, it was Elian earlier to secure one. Quick kill. Nickelback able to dissolve the setup. 5-4, Winstrike a lead.
Winstrike taking that lead back so soon as well, so decisively. Now Wisla have to compromise their buy even further, if they even want to invest into this one at all. Round number 10, and if they want to tie this up, they've got to win a very disadvantaged round. Ponchek coming in with the AK, the sole investment besides Jedker's armor, and of course a P250 for Hades. I always want to see those oppers get onto those pistols, upgraded where possible, and see if they can do something, especially on the T side where you can overwhelm with numbers. It's a little bit more possible, but the way that Winstrike have been playing so aggressively, especially with these SMGs, you just have no chance, man.
This is a disrespect style. All of this pushing usually shouldn't work out, but certainly does this time. One of the 2 sets of body armor instantly eviscerated. Only Jedka, he's got Kevlar and an AK-47 retrieved. That was on the fallen Ponchak.
I just absolutely love to see Winstrike attempting to break train, using what should be the T-side advantages, little as they are, to their advantage instead on the defensive position. Jedker, maybe punishing that. Disrespect. Ooh, you said it earlier, Squid, and it looks like maybe it'll come back to bite them.
Such snappy openings, and remember there are rifles on the floor. No Kevlar, especially for Hades, who's now picked up the M4. Aim punch will now become an issue. 1 bullet in the chest, and your crosshair goes sky high. Lackey able to take him away. Such a brilliant player this map. Remember, he was the player to receive the ace earlier in the map, too, this time. And Goofy is completely lost in this one. Yes, he's got an angle. He's right in the back lines, but won't be able to prevent this defuse and even find a frag.
That's just brilliant. Winstrike saved 3 rifles going into the next, including the all-important AWP. And call me crazy, but I didn't know Jane was playing for Winstrike. Look at Elian's money right now. He's got a huge bank. He hasn't had to reinvest into that sniper in so long. 7K on him. He's on track to equalize or maybe even exceed the money that he made on the T side of Mirage. And, well, at this rate, with Mac 10 once again, the concession coming out from Wisla Krakow, he might be on for the money, as they say. And 4 rifles, it wasn't enough the last time. Let's see if it'll be enough in the 11th. The Poles need to get back towards that lead.
Well, we've got to remember that Elian's been playing an incredibly passive style. Only 2 kills thus far. That is far from the performance that he was able to post on Mirage. 6-4.
Oh, but it's a credible threat
to go. And, well, here comes the AK-47 for a flurry of frags. Lackey still stands, finally taken away, but this A bomb site still looks impenetrable. They need some further kills before this one falls, and it's Goofy Hades to provide. Quick frags. Bomb site should fall, but here comes the flank to drop the bomb once again. This is deja vu to round number 2, as Elian also has the back lines. This should be Winstrike holding it up. Sparrow, an angle, an AK. might have a chance 50 seconds. Elian seems to know exactly what is going on, and he's quick enough to hit the shot, doubles that scoreline.
Yeah, you mentioned his scoreline looks a little low in this map, but remember that with Elian, the performance he had on Mirage, the performance he's had in the last month or so impressive coming out from this Winstrike roster that just knowing the op is in play every gun round, and even some of those forces, man, it must send shivers down your spine if you're Wisla. And you know it. I mean, when Sparrow has to dry peek with no nades against Elian, who just backstabbed his teammate, that's not a fight anybody wants to take.
Speedy setup, Sparrow to drop, and, well, Winstrike have completely combated this one. Bomb in the open, and the AWP comfortable to make further swings. Elian really wants to stat pad another 2 kills. A double-double, some would say. It even tries to knife. Lackey able to convert it. There's the AWP retrieved, and Winstrike are now on another tear.
Listen, Winstrike look poised to take this half. Obviously, they have technically converted, and they look poised to maybe even make it super dominant yet again. But if that knife connected, I would be so tilted if I were Goofy. My first time playing with Wisla in an official, and I get knifed through a smoke by this guy who was just spamming me with pistols, that would have been it, man. That would have been over. But Wisla need to stay composed. They brought out the AWP on Hades. See if he can equalize the performance of Elian, who's right now rocking that Ellie 2K style. And Forrester pushing up again towards this B-bomb site. He might be punished, but Ponchek thinks better. That nade dodged.
He's done this the majority of the time, Pronogo. When does it become predictable? AK-47 needs to fall into more passive lines, and he's still maintaining the heaven control. Remember, is Wisla trying to prize in elsewhere? It's Ivy. Goofy. Smoke wants to combat it, and Forrester decides to double dip for both headshots. There's the AWP eliminated. Unreal. Lackey's got another angle towards Ivy, and Winstrike know exactly what is going on.
How do they call out every position every time, man? Winstrike looking on just another level here, and Wisla, whatever prep they did, they might need to go back to the drawing board after this series. Round number 13 going the way of Winstrike, almost certainly 2-on-5 scenario with 2 AKs and 2 nades. That's it, a flash and a molly. If Wisla are going to make even a bomb plant happen here for their economy, it's going to be miraculous. And Elian says no.
Looks not just unlikely, but impossible. Elian and Angle both frags. He's really started to show up, and that's a danger man added to the server for Winstrike. We talk about the AWPs on this map, and Elian is such a powerful player when he shows to the server.
I'm still wondering where Hades went, man. Hades was supposed to be able to equalize or maybe contest, maybe win a couple opening picks, but so far, the way that he's positioned on the T side, we haven't even seen any opportunities for those op duels. In fact, the op is not coming out in this round, that's for sure, for Wisla. It's going to be on Deagles instead. Deagle and a couple of AKs, certainly the Galil for Goofy, who's not had a great time himself either, remember? They need to make this scrappy buy work if they're going to take round number 14, and Winstrike are looking for double digits so soon into the half.
So tough, so tricky. 10 rounds looks to be not quite a guarantee just yet. Quick shots from the AK-47s. Remember, Forrester getting aggressive once again. He's done this the majority of the time towards the B-bomb site. It's barely a surprise. I question, would it become predictable? And certainly so. Winstrike look to be punished in that scenario. Double smokes towards the ramp, wanting to play up close with the AK-47, of course. Lackey, is he actually going to double dip through this? He gets cautioned back. That's what we like to call a warning shot.
Just through the smoke. Keep him appraised. Still resistance here. Winstrike now looking to push.
They're going to go for the double peek into ramp. They've been caught off guard again, Pronogo. That is unreal. Nickelback able to fall back, and I think they might have seen that one. Lackey still maintaining the control, and Connect to completely punished. Winstrike have such a read on the scenario, and here comes the smoke spray. Crad another one. Ponchek tagged in the meantime. This is a 1 versus 3, and it's falling apart at the seams. This looks to be double digits, Pronogo. Disgusting.
Absolutely destroyed so far are Wisla. I can't believe they've now dropped by 6 rounds. Yeah, okay, you look at this scoreline and maybe you think it's just a really good CT team. But remember that Wisla are supposed to be the T-side champions. Their map pick, now it's all onto them. And they might not even be able to post 5 in the opening half. which would, of course, equalize the scoreline on Mirage if they were able to, but they need to do one better, man. They need to take us to a third, and they do not look poised to do so far. Winstrike absolutely punishing. Yet another scrappy buy from the Poles. It's just going to be 3 AKs and 2 Galils, limited utility, a team-main pop on the cards.
Those incends are causing real problems, and the likewise rifles just popping through for all of those frags. This half over, surely 11-4. Hades, no AWP for him. Jedka, likewise, AK-47. And Winstrike poised for number 11. This CT side looks sturdy, looks strong. They've got pop dog control, but not really much else. Winstrike looking for pretty much the lion's share of this. Remember, Wisla actually started off this half very strong, Pronogo. They went up, I think, 4-1 off those initial rounds. 1 minute on the clock, though, and they seem out of ideas. They've seemed to be the case for quite some rounds. Main control, double AKs, and a single smoke to work with. That's been a symptom in the last couple of such a weak attack. Hades, where's he going to throw it? Potentially towards the connector, needing both of those frags there. You can't really mistake him for not finding that shot onto Elian, but with the crossfires established, it's impossible. It's 11-4, Pronogo.
Winstrike are so dominant, man. Not their map pick this time around, but they still get a very close scoreline to what happened in the opening half of Mirage. And it's still in everybody's mind. It's still in everybody's brain because it was not so long ago. These rounds have been quick. And of course, the games themselves might be even quicker at this rate. As we get into this second half here, we're going to have to see if Winstrike gets stymied. Wisla need to show us much better stuff on their CT side, which they are poised to do in theory. You know, remember the map is favoring the CTs, favoring the defense. But Winstrike, I think they've got some ideas up on their sleeve. They've already got the P250 on their hero buy of Elian, the Star Opera, of course. Everybody else, just Kevlar. This is the first time we've actually seen anything other than the full Kevlar buys from any pistol round that Winstrike have played. And they are going to slow things down yet again. Remember, no utility besides what Krad has purchased. A flash and a smoke. Gonna have to see where he wants to bring the bomb. Right now, he's just chilling out, lining up some stuff towards that A position.
Exactly what we saw on Mirage, by the way, Pronogo. These defaults, slow stances, waiting for the mistakes, and surely they'll come. Quick shots, Pop Dog. Not connecting all too much other than preliminary damage. Negligible, you should say. Alien 83, 81 Sparrow. Shouldn't even mention it, but that is quite a headshot. Glocks connecting. You know how deadly and dangerous they can be, especially at close range. That smoke placed allowed them to take the avenue of approach forward. Nickelback, he's got the angle, and surely should be able to connect with even more. The Glock's really firing through, and now it's down to Sparrow. He's got an angle and 2 frags, wanting the headshots, but Forrester finds even more. The clutch master from map 1 cannot get the job done.
It's not going to happen this time for Forrester. It looked good until you realized he only had a measly Glock to his name. Not going to be competing with USPs and P2Ks at that range. Wisla take a 5th. All right, they've got 5 on the board yet again, but they need much more. Hopefully they can convert off of this. Remember in the previous map, they weren't even able to score the pistol, let alone convert. So now we're on to phase 2 of their master comeback plan. I'm going to need to secure not only this, but the next. Then we can start talking about something resembling a comeback, something resembling a competitive match of Counter-Strike here. And of course, Winstrike, they want to keep things going. They've got quite an investment off of the back of the bomb plant. They will be breaking out the Galils, a scout on Ilian, and of course, nades and a deagle on the IGL.
Lovely nade. Remember, current iteration of CSGO, this is what we commonly see. More rifles for the T side, even though they lost the last. Bomb plant gives them that advantage. And a quick shot onto Sparrow to force him back 29 HP. Minute 20 on the clock as they creep their way forwards. It's Krad to lead the charge. Usually you see the Desert Eagle wanting to try and break it open, giving the space to the Galils. This time something different. Utility used. Goofy, I think that smoke misplaced. No, it lands perfectly. That's going to completely block them off. Could take the angle instead. He's prevented by the Molotov.
You like to see the idea coming out from Nickelback here on this Winstrike T side so far. They come into this round knowing that maybe the MP9s are advantaged in close quarters, but they still want to take this Ivy play. So they set up Elian to land that shot onto Sparrow, who has one of the only good rifles on this roster so far.
And there's all the information, by the way. They've spotted Pop Dog Control. Jedka's inside. He's got the MP9. But the element of surprise eviscerated. Wisla a full rotate, only leaving Ponchek towards the curly letter. And now the MP9s really need to shine. Goofy and Angle able to backtrack. He's got support from the side. Hades, quick shot, Nickelback with 2. Evens up the numbers once again, but they should still have the intel onto Jedka. They don't. It wasn't communicated through. Instead, they're worried about the connector, which is a present threat. Ponchek takes it.
They do indeed, and curiously enough, Jedka not upgrading to the M4 there might have been a bit of a mistake. Ponchek only able to salvage the Galil, which will be tossed over to Sparrow, who had a otherwise very compromised buy. So, okay, Wisla should be able to turn this into a proper investment here, despite the concession coming out from the MP9. We'll see what Hades picks up here in just a moment as Winstrike themselves on to pistols. 4 Deagles, Nickelback with the Glock. Looking not for this round, but for the next. So it should be a 7th for Wisla here if their defense can work out. And turns out, Hades only on the USB.
On paper, Pronogo, if this was an even matchup, even teams, doesn't seem to be the case in the first map and a half that we've watched, this would be an even scenario. Wisla, we know how competent and confident they are, but even a single Desert Eagle can do damage, and Forrester shows us why. He's done so many times this series. Startling shots.
Yeah, the only sort of silver lining there is, of course, with Goofy farming up on this MP9 now. Oh, he didn't spot the bomb, as a matter of fact. This could be big.
Maybe not. Winstrike just get absolutely clambered.
Yes, indeed. The only player to lose was the one who didn't invest a weapon, so at least that doesn't come back to bite Wisla. However, should be an even better investment coming into this particular round. Number 19, Winstrike looking for their 12th. Wisla on 7, which I only say with such surprise because they were previously only able to post 5 on Mirage. Now we need to see them actually take the CT side victory. Still possible. Elian on the AWP makes me second guess that, but right now, not able to find any frags flashed off the angle instead.
Remember, Wisla, new roster, ever so slightly. It's only Goofy added to the mix. You know how that can really change up the system, especially without your support player of Minio in the mix. Quick kill. Wisla, a deficit. How are they going to deal with this? They've lost the majority of these 5v4 situations this series, obviously, as you would expect. Winstrike very proficient at closing them out. Wisla less so. We'll see. AWP towards B. He smokes.
Wisla don't know where Winstrike are heading right now. They have been kept in the dark with all the utility usage. Forrester caught with his nade out, though. That will even things up. Hopefully enough for Wisla to secure a round win, but they've started cheating players over towards A, which could be the right move here as Krad lines up a smoke for outside.
Certainly should be. By the way, doesn't matter what side of the map Forrester is on, T, CT, he's always going to be playing that heaven position here on Train. We've seen that so many times, not just this map, but the majority of the rest of the time when Winstrike play on Train. 25 seconds, they've let this clock tick. And now they need to creep closer with very limited information. Krad with the frag opens up A, and Wisla, held at an arm's length by the AWP of Elian, has a lovely angle. Sparrow caught. And Wisla forced away. I don't think they decide to save knowing that Lack is on low HP. That should have been radioed through early portion of the round, 22 for him. Each of these 3 members already a kill, looking for 2 more between them. And Elian does have even more. Lovely angle, AWP long range, and even gets the intel onto Ponchek. Might even want to fall away from this scenario. It looks impossible with the crossfires established. And Lackey back lines, quick headshot, 1 tap.
Absolute destruction on the A-bomb site here. Winstrike take their 12th. Elian instrumental in crowbarring that site open and then keeping it shut against Wisla. The polls not successful. They will have a bye once again, but it's not looking too great. Let's be honest, looking at this, Goofy, who got caught out in T-main the previous round, now only on a Deagle, Kevlar, and a smoke. He's going to have to make that one, you know, smoke it while you got him and all that. Rest of his teammates, okay, 3 M4s, not too bad. Jedker with a single MP9, but Utility is not looking good for the defenders, and Winstrike, with their slow T rounds, their defaults, they can make all of that utility go bye-bye. It can make it bleed. That's exactly what they're going to be looking to do here as they pressure towards B and Ivy early in their defaults.
Massive Ivy presence. We saw that from Winstrike on their CT side. It's not massively common here on Train. Usually you'd be playing a more passive defense and just holding those bomb sites with your inherent CT advantage.
Well, Winstrike threw that kind of advice out the window early. Now, smokes have allowed Jedker to take a very cheeky angle here. Close range weapon as well. Could win out against the AK and fall back, but Elian to hold.
No idea. They've got no idea that Jedker is here. Around the corner, back lines. Let's watch him. Oh no, he's behind both and gets caught out. That is so unfortunate. It's chaos and carnage. And Winstrike now in advantage. You've got to pull the trigger. Went for 3, he got greedy and got punished. Now the A play seems to ensue. 30 seconds. Winstrike don't have a plan B. They don't have a bomb site B either. 25 seconds. They are comfortable with this clock ticking down. And with 20 seconds on the board, Winstrike now, oh, they're going to pressure inside. This is absolute chaos. They're falling apart simultaneously. Yes, Ponchek's got a back angle, but they have to rely on Hades in the 1v2. These headshots have to be so snappy, and it's not going to happen. Elian finishes 13.
That is absolutely crazy, man. Where were these post plants where we needed them? In fact, where were these plants when we needed them in Mirage? Wisla, they looked like maybe they could have held the line there. Very surprising frags to come out from Pop. Surprised even Winstrike. And with the time so low, you think maybe it's just them being disciplined and grinding out as much fear and uncertainty as they can get from the Polish side, but that almost came back to bite them. That was down to the wire.
Wow. Aggression once again from the only SMG on the Wisla side. Falls on deaf ears. Only pistols remain.
Yeah, that's CZ not able to get too much there. Will be recovered by Nickelback, of course, but Wisla needed a little bit more there. Almost no, yeah, in fact, no utility left. The single upgraded P250 on Sparrow. So if they can get something with a stack, that'll be good, but Forrester is obviously going to shut down this only B player, and that should just make this A hit all the more easy.
In Heaven once again, by the way. Seems to play it every single time with massive successes on both sides. Bomb to be scrambled and retrieved. They know where Sparrow's playing from. He's on A. There's, I think, a rifle to retrieve over on that pointy letter, but will he be able to get away from it? I don't think so. Winstrike swarming the map. Look at all of that presence. Bomb planted. This is a guarantee. A 14-7 once again and a massive lead. Yes, Wisla's taken 7, but this CT side isn't meriting the results that you'd necessarily expect. It's only an SMG, in fact, so not really the prize he was looking for.
No, that sucks, man. When you pick up an SMG after getting the only frag on your team so far, that's pretty much the worst thing you can ask for. What did I win, boss? A MAC-10. Nothing to write home about, and now he might even throw it away immediately.
That was no kill bonus. That was a TK.
Oh, look at that. Well, curiously enough, is it kill bonuses or is it just suicides where you get the money depending on the gun that you're holding?
Definitely gets the money, but he's prevented that $600 from coming through. I don't think that that's an advantage. It's certainly not a strategy to kill your own teammate so the SMG doesn't find the kill. Nevertheless, still maintaining 3 players alive. And this might be speedier. I guess they've got this A bomb site in mind. Wisla, 4 players holding the defense. Knowing that Forrester's going to be playing Heaven every time. He's here once again, of course.
Yeah, this round is for all the marbles for Wisla. If they can't convert off of this, they lose their economic advantage, if you can even call it that. Okay, they got the opening kill advantage, though. That's certainly going to help them out. We get into this deep round scenario, and with 1 man down, Winstrike have still found quite a bit of success, at least getting the bomb plant down. Money's not a huge issue for them. They will rebuy in the next regardless, but if they can get that bomb plant, if they can take some more names from Wisla and manage their economy, then even if the Polish side gets an 8th round, the Russians will be able to come into the next with just a little bit more of an advantage, continue to manage the economy of their opponents. So difficult to keep that money up when you're on the CT side, even on train.
Quick kill, another SMG to fall. It does feel like Elian's got an angel investor behind him. He's always got 8k in hand. Certainly won't have that going into the next, considering he has to rebuy into the AWP. But a bomb plant, perhaps? No, doesn't decide to get it away. Instead, the peak dies to Sparrow, and that'll be not as much money as you would ordinarily expect. There was certainly an option to plant that bomb.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake coming out from Crad, but like I said earlier, it's not going to cost them too much. Elian, with the angel investment you touched on there, is able to drop an AK as well as his AWP, and that will equip the rest of Winstrike for pretty much everything that they need. They got plenty of utility, one concession in a Galil, and Lackey's lack of nades a little bit, but they should still be able to make do. They've done plenty of bomb takes with very limited utility, in fact, and we saw that earlier on the pistol round, as a matter of fact, so should be able to do the same in this one. And Wisla, if they lose out in this round, remember, every single time, every single round is to play for here. And if Wisla drop a single one, it's match point, series point for the Russians.
Nade damage into main has been impactful up until now. Lackey on the brunt of that. 65 HP, can shrug it off knowing that he's got the angle poised and taken. It's main control from Wisla. Quick kill, smoke placed. There it's re-smoked. They don't want it to dissipate. Remember, they had to literally leap, charge, jump through those smokes earlier. Minute on the clock won't be the pressure for Winstrike. Instead, they've got Ivy control, forcing Sparrow back. And Forrester, an angle. Smoke dissipates. He gets one in the face. And these kills are converting for Winstrike. Out in the open Hades, they now know where he's playing from. Quick kill. And Sparrow through the smoke wants to spray away a couple of more. He's been limited in his success here on train and not expecting Elian to take the wide swing. That's amazing. Quick with the AWP. We talked about his aggression, and in these disadvantageous situations, seems to take it exactly in his hands. Has to do so again. Against two. Low HP. Pistol preferred against Hades. He's already found 3, and this angle shouldn't convert. He's looking the wrong way. Hades a swing. Oh, looking again the wrong angle. Bomb not to be planted, supposedly. Ooh. Hades says no.
That was a close one as well. If Elian can scarp her off after planting that bomb, you almost believe in him with the low HP onto Hades, but Wisla are able to manage. Losing 3 players does hurt, but now they've strung enough rounds together at this point, too, in fact, that okay, the economic woes are a little bit safely behind them, especially when they convert onto this one, which should be a no-brainer with only 2 Deagles as the only investment. Forrester with the Kevlar, he's ever dangerous on those pistols, but Winstrike shouldn't be able to get too much here, and this should be double digits for the polls for the first time so far in this series.
That's what we would ordinarily expect them to do their homework. Remember, in that massive run of form, they were able to win 9-5-5. Lots of comebacks in those series, especially against Mad Lions. They were sensationally behind over in that grand final, able to bring it back. Might be able to do so here today. Remember, stakes just as high. Spot at the ESL Pro League up for grabs. Not just for this matchup, but if you can win this entire group stage, then, well, you're making it through in first place. You don't even have to play in the Global Challenge. 14-9, and, well, Forrester angle, but Deagle taken. And this AWP should be able to just convert the rest. 1 kill, certainly good enough. You're maybe looking for a bomb plant in this scenario. Won't be able to find it. Instead, 2 kills, definitely acceptable there.
Absolutely true. Yeah, Ponchak almost went down himself, only on 3 HP. You almost believed he would, and that would have opened up the room for a potential bomb plant, perhaps. Obviously, you'd expect a retake in that situation, regardless of the weapon scavenged. It's not to be. Winstrike ended up dropping that one. Double digits for the first time for Wisla. We can start to talk about the potential comeback that you mentioned earlier, Squid, that they are just known for in the Polish scene, in that Tier 2 scene, and well, now they're seemingly making it happen on their own map pick. CT advantage. Ooh, but Jedker banged down a little bit there by Ellie, and that's a confidence-rattling shot there. Unconfirmed damage for the tease, but Jedker himself is probably a little shook after that one.
Certainly, there was almost a follow-up shot connecting, a whisker away.
That'd be a report.
Certainly would be. Get into the scoreboard. Quick block. Send that off to Valve headquarters. Sparrow forced away. Remember the double AWPs. First time that we've seen it here. Hades wants to get aggressive. Both of those snipers positioned on the A bomb site. Main, Ivy.
Winstrike were so good at playing against the double sniper setups that Wisla would almost always break out on their CT side. But Train is a different beast than Mirage right now. Winstrike haven't yet figured out how many snipers are on the CT roster. But when they do, they won't have that much time left to adapt. It's only 40 seconds on the clock for this round.
We've got to remember that Hades went dormant on Mirage. He showed up here on the second map. 21 kills thus far. Looking for more with the sniper rifle. Goofy good damage. That's acceptable. 2 HP remains for Nickelback as he, well, forced back. Can't even take the peaks knowing he's 1 bullet away from death. AK-47 wants to go for the swing against the AWP and does. That's a mistake, Hades. An unforced error. Sprays through the smoke for even further unconfirmed damage. And here comes Krad. Oh, he sprays down 3. Winstrike map points.
Oh, you believed in the Wisla retake. I mean, the bomb hadn't even gone down at that point, but Winstrike get the map point, series point, just off of a 3-man spray down from Krad. All of that unconfirmed damage from his teammates coming in to help him out there. And, oh, you got to be kicking yourself if you're on the Polish team right now.
That is unreal. You never expect 3 prizes lined up for you. Krad certainly didn't. 30 bullets in the barrel. It's good enough to secure 15. 5 map points here to convert this series. Wisla down on money. Barely got anything to carry this one through. Just the double deagle. M4 in play.
I feel like Goofy's been relegated to this SMG as well. Every single round, there's even a little bit of a compromise. He's the one taking the hit there, and he needs to do some better here. Kills traded out. Ponchek falls. It's all onto the B bomb site now.
This is damaging. Smoke's placed. Elian looking right over the top of it. Doesn't spot anything out just yet. But a 4 versus 4 with the bomb going down. Advantage firmly in Winstrike's favor. Nickelback just standing on this B bomb site. AK poised, positioned. He's ready and waiting. Ready to go. Here come the MP9s right over the top. Quick kill gets converted. 2v2, just the pistols to punish. And Elian with a Molotov should be able to shut this one down single-handedly. That is brutal. There's no kit in play and surely no time to get on this defuse. Jedka straight on top of it. Here comes the Tech 9 from the top. And Elian, he has converted this map. The bomb will explode. He should be able to find this. And they all go up in flames. It's 16 as they're able to convert this one 2-0.
Oh, man. Winstrike, what a dominating opening. What a dominating early half as well on Train. And Wisla just started to get back into the game. And it all just went up, man. Up in flames, as you said, with the bomb plant going down. And there was just no time. Elian played it to perfection. He had the Molotov, and he danced around the crosshair of his opponent there, and there was just no chance for Wisla to get back into that one at that point. They needed to deny the bomb plants more frequently, I think, in Train, if they really wanted a solid chance at taking that series. And you could see the parts starting to come together a little bit on that CT side for why they may have picked that map, but their T side was not enough. They only posted 5, and it just isn't enough to get you across the finish line against a team like Winstrike.
It certainly isn't. And I've got to say, Wisla looked very hot and cold in that series where they had that streak of rounds at the very start of their T side and then nothing after. That CT side, a couple of glimmers of hope, but Winstrike just a little too hot to handle in this one. And the favorites do prevail. 2-0. We don't get the opportunity to see a third as this best of 3 has been called. The first win for them in the Esea Premier, EU division, of course, a spot at the ESL Pro League, the only path to the EPL up for grabs at the end of this one. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place for more Counter-Strike action. So catch more ESEA Premier here, Esports Studio. We'll see you soon.